Lockdown blowback. 54% of Americans say they do not want their state to lock down despite a surge of COVID cases. This is according to a new Harvard-Harris poll. 16 states are imposing limits on businesses. 37 have mask orders in place, and some are even cracking down on holiday parties. Sheriffs in 4 New York counties are also refusing to enforce these new COVID restrictions, claiming their jurisdictions do not apply inside people's homes. The Constitution also kind of hints at that as well. They also argue that orders are not constitutionally defensible. Yeah, look at the Fourth Amendment. And here's New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. He doesn't like the pushback.
You don't have the right to pick laws that you think you will enforce, and you don't enforce laws that you don't agree with, right? That's not a law enforcement officer. That's a dictator.
Yeah, but legislatures have to pass laws. Dictators implement policies like mask mandates. Let's talk more about this now with host of the Rubin Report, Dave Rubin, also author of Don't Burn This Book, Thinking for Yourself in the Age of Unreason. You know, I thought the Emmy Award, Dave, for Andrew Cuomo was a lack of self-awareness. New achievements and lack of self-awareness for Andrew Cuomo. I mean, how can you say that? You don't make the law. I make the law.
I mean, he's calling the sheriffs dictators while he acts much more like a dictator. You know, John, I brought a prop today because I know you love props.
Love them.
I did a little research about how much evidence there is that lockdowns do anything.
Oh.
A blank piece of paper here, John.
I think I have a copy of that same report, Dave, right here. It's right here. That same copy, same report.
Look,
it's going around.
There's no evidence that these lockdowns are working. We know that they're arbitrary and do things such as, oh, from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. you can't be outside, as if, you know, this is something that pays attention to the time, right? I mean, this is all sort of crazy. But Cuomo also is sort of becoming the bad guy in an 80s movie. His tone has changed in a very bizarre sense, and as if he is the king, as if he is the dictator. He has this righteous indignation that just does not read as authentic. But by the way, you know, in times past, when evil has spread, you know, one of the things that Nazi soldiers said after World War II was, I was just following orders. And we know that that sentiment is bad. That's how evil spreads, because nobody's accountable. Well, in essence, these sheriffs saying, we are not going to go into people's homes, he's pinning them as if they're the bad guys.
Right.
But in effect, they're the good guys. They're the ones that are standing up and saying, no, we will not infringe on people's rights. We will not infringe on people's property. And as you said, the Fourth Amendment, the right to privacy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of times these sheriffs are elected by their constituents. It's a constitutional office. So, you know, they are held accountable to the people who vote for them, not necessarily just the mayor, as I'm sure Governor Cuomo would like it to be. And, of course, we know he's getting lots of praise from all of his friends in Tribeca, Robert De Niro, also across Hollywood as well, for how great he did in those Emmy award-winning TV appearances. Here's Cuomo's friends congratulating him.
Congratulations, Andrew, on your much-deserved Founders Award.
Governor Andrew Cuomo, you are the man. What?
I was trying to think of something that I could say to you that would be funny, and so I called your brother Chris, who could not understand why you were getting an Emmy since he's the one on television.
In the darkest stage of the pandemic, your daily briefings live from New York gave us hope, gave us clarity, gave us the truth, and gave us something that we were not getting from Washington: leadership.
You know, I never knew Billy Crystal was so good at the deadpan. I mean, just not even cracking a smile there, with not a hint of irony in that statement.
You know, one of the sad things about what Hollywood has done to us is that you end up hating your childhood heroes.
Yeah.
You know, right there at the end, you didn't have the audio for it, but I think that was Billy Joel. I'm from Long Island. I mean, I grew up loving Billy Joel. Billy Crystal, all of his great movies. Like they've turned this into something where you self-righteous, rich people who can live in a way that the rest of us can't live, and then you pat yourselves on the back, and then you pat the backs of the people who are destroying all of their lives. You know, all of these guys live in multi-million-dollar mansions, which I don't begrudge them. I think it's spectacular that capitalism has allowed them to do that. But all of the people that serve them and cook their food and all of those things, those people are hurting. Andrew Cuomo, we know he sent people back into old age homes and killed them. He wrote a best-selling book in the midst of all of this, as if he had time to write a book. I know a little something about writing a book, and it takes a little time. He gets an Emmy for this thing. It's like, man, we are in Oz, and we looked past the curtain, and we are seeing what it's really about, and it ain't pretty.
Yeah, you know, and I would say, everybody out there, you're talking about our childhood, just our heroes, just great documentary for folks at home, A Matter of Trust, about Billy Joel performing inside the Soviet Union. It really gives you a look at, you know, the soft power of America in the 1980s. And it's sad to see that some of these same people are just, you know, they want to forget all about that. But hey, I highly recommend it if you haven't seen A Matter of Trust. Great documentary. But I got to talk about something else that's completely ridiculous, Dave, and that's what's happening in Pennsylvania. The governor there, Tom Wolf, announcing new rules to combat the surge. And he says, you know, if you just stop selling alcohol at 5 p.m. tomorrow, the night before Thanksgiving, everybody's going to be safer. This is prohibition. This is because Pennsylvania has very weird liquor laws. They're able to do this without any real kind of backlash. But I would imagine this is not going to go over very well.
Well, John, I did a little research before I went on air with you, and you look at this. I found the evidence for cutting off alcohol sales at 5 p.m.
We're all citing the same report. It's illuminating.
People really need to understand these people are psychopaths. Like, in effect, that's really what they are. There's no scientific evidence for it. They're also telling us we can't have Thanksgiving with our families, so we have to be sober alone in our basements, I guess. Like, at least let us have some tequila, for God's sakes. Look, none of this makes sense. And the sheriffs that push back on it, and the average person, I'm sure you saw the video of the people in Jersey who were yelling at Governor Murphy at the restaurant, and the people up in Buffalo who are trying to get the regulators, whatever you want to call them, out of their establishment. It's like, we are the only chance to fight back. There is no cavalcade coming. This will only happen if good people say enough is enough. And you got to figure out what that means in your life. But this guy, I mean, this is just a clown. This person attained power, you know, through elections, and that's just fine. But okay, alcohol can't be bought the day before Thanksgiving. Like, that will stop the pandemic. And we all sit here and pretend as if it makes any sense when it makes literally 0 cents.
I wish I had a live shot right now. A liquor distributorship in Pennsylvania. You probably know this, Dave, that they, you know, have these weird rules. I don't know exactly what it is now. There's some cash and carry from some bars and things like that. But I imagine lines are wrapped around the block, making sure people stock up. If you ever needed alcohol on a Thanksgiving, this would be the one. But Dave, are you going to have more than 10 people over to your house for Thanksgiving?
Well, let's just say I'm going to do what I think is right.
There you go. I love it.
How about that? And let's just say I bought an extremely, extremely large turkey.
Okay. I was going to ask you if you were going to do steak instead of turkey. I know you love the steak.
Oh, you've been seeing my Instagram. There's some good stuff going on over there. Yeah. No, we're doing turkey, and it is a large turkey, and we may just serve it family style.
Family style. Okay, well, you know, you know what to do. Everybody else knows what to do. If the government comes knocking at your door, ask for a warrant, of course. Dave Rubin, great to see you as always. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, John.
All right.